when we're talking about temporary workers, in your scenario, I would not say so much they're temporary, but you might call the hall and you don't know who's coming from the hall. So outside of union construction, when we get into true temp workers, whether we're working in manufacturing, we've got temp workers, we've contracted with some agency that's sending that worker to our facility, or, we've got some job, non-union construction or whatever business. I'm running this all the time where we're contracting with a temp agency. It's very important, first of all, from an OSHA's perspective, to determine who's directing the work. Because I see these things all the time in the contract that says, well, the temp agency was supposed to send me these folks and they're trained and qualified and ready to go, right? And then when they get there, they're not trained, qualified, and ready to go. If you are directing the work, they're just providing the body. You own that. If they get hurt, it's on your OSHA 300 law. But even more than that, just had a fatality case along this same line, this same venue back last year that resulted in some litigation between us and OSHA, which we'll talk about some other time, but it's a really cool case. A lot of the issues OSHA had with the contractor and the temp agency is the contract said one thing, but the practice deviated to something else. No one was really abiding by the letter of the contract. So when you had the fatality, who is responsible for the training? Well, we did some of it. They did some of it. It gets real confusing as to who is responsible. So my advice to most people is go by what's in the agreement there when it comes to the contract, but put some thought about what you're putting in the contract and be realistic. So if you're saying to a temp agency that they're going to show up and they're going to be trained and all their OSHA training and lockout, tag out and all this, I wouldn't trust it because you're directing the work and you're going to be the one responsible for it. OSHA doesn't care what it says in the contract. I had the area director sit there and say, I don't care what it says in the contract. It may have said they were supposed to provide it, but what was your process to go and verify that they were doing it?